YouTube, it's Bravos. We got the Ultrix 600, something new and exciting for you. Looks a lot like the Delta Ray, except it's so much more. Brushless braking, all sorts of cool things, flight controllers, interesting things that you've probably not seen before. This thing does fly. It's intended to fly on the 850 milliamp 3S Gen 2 pack with an IC2 connector. Of course, you can cut that off and do whatever you want. This thing will hold a huge battery in it, but if you want to say sub 250 grams, this plane is one option for you. However, pay close attention to your weight. You may have to pull the nose gear out to accomplish that. There are tail wheels and a nose wheel on this one. So for wheels up, wheels down, we'll do wheels up, wheels down for you guys today. Throttle hold is off. Timer set to 5 minutes. You're allowed 5 to 8 minutes on as per the manual. We have the battery all the way up forward. You can have it in a bunch of different positions. So I'm thinking CG independent on this plane. So we're gonna go ahead and fly elevator up, elevator down. I think we're sort of taking off in safe mode here. Here we go. Oh yeah, 50%, 40% throttle there.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that thing has differential thrust. Look how flat it's turning. Okay, need a little bit of trim here, which is weird. Normally we don't trim planes in safe, but I need a little bit. That is so flat and so solid. It's weird. It's like extremely solid. Look at this, okay? Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I wanna yaw the plane and show you what I'm talking about. See that flat turn? That's so weird, no rudders. Okay, so out of the safe mode. So now we're into like AS3X only sort of mode. Look how solid it is. It's like not even moving and it's just super solid. Okay, so I don't know if this is extreme mode. It's got a lot of power.
Yeah, it does.
Love the trim on it, but the blue is a little bit harder to see than the red. The UMX Ultrix is red and white trim. Obviously, there is a full-blown flight controller on this one. Camera crew is hating me right now because this thing is probably terrible to film. We're gonna go into the bowl, by the way.
Okay.
You good with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's so quiet.
I know, I was surprised.
I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute, guys. Let's look at this. 10% throttle, just to show you how quiet. You can barely hear it.
I know.
That is so cool that it's quiet. 10% throttle, guys. But you can get out of trouble immediately. Immediately, guys. I need to trim a little bit. Yep, there we go. A lot easier to trim when you're not in safe, guys. Okay, so now I think this is extreme mode here, where it's just kind of like anything goes. I'm out of throttle here, just gliding. Woo! What a landing. Okay, so we're gonna pause and come back.
Okay.
So the only thing that happened on that, like terrible landing, I basically tip stalled the thing and the cover for the flight controller popped off. Okay, so we're just gonna take off again. We're gonna go back to safe just to show you how easy it is to take off. These are two powerful brushless motors, so I'm just gonna do that and oh, there it is, it's in the air. Let's land it. Let's just show people how easy it can be landed. This isn't safe, okay? So I'm basically just, camera crew could land this. Do you want to try landing it?
Oh, not yet.
Really? Let's wait until, look how easy that is, folks.
Make sure we have the footage we need before I crash it.
Why would you crash it? This plane, hold on a second. I just want to show the people. I'm not even looking.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
What, the not looking?
It's super easy, you can do it.
I just love the way this plane flies though. It's super, super simple.
It's very cool.
Now, you guys saw what I did there though. I got it into an unrecoverable stall, but I was out of the flight controller mode so that I actually had full control of it. It doesn't do cornholes very good. Look, that's the cornhole. That's not a cornhole. It's just too good at staying under control. I think I want to put the battery back further. I feel like this plane deserves more pitch authority, and I think that's part of the reason why it's flying a little bit more reserved than I would like. Okay, so the yaw control is strange because it turns so flat, but it doesn't have any rudder, and I don't think it does differential thrust, which is very strange. And I don't know how they did it on the other one too. Top loading battery, which is super nice, very easy to load. I'm gonna just pull this battery back. The battery is kind of loose in the pocket, which is strange, so I'm gonna have to kind of turn it at an angle so that it gets a bite. Oh, when you put it in the lid, it's gonna bite. You see that?
Oh.
Yep, that gets a hold of it. Okay, so let's try this now. You guys ready? I'm out of safe, by the way. This thing has one heck of a flight controller. I'm no 3D pilot, and that thing, you can pretty much launch it right there into a vertical hammerhead sort of style. How does it do that? There's no movement from the props, and yet it yaws. That is so cool. Oh, maybe there was a little bit. And they do definitely have differential thrust on that thing. You see what's happening? One is stopped, one is not. Or maybe it's just a difference in timing. I want to know how this thing works, guys. Like I said, I'm not some sort of a 3D pilot, but look at that. Are you paying attention?
Yes, I'm trying.
Well, I thought you were looking down the road.
No. I'm listening down the road.
Yeah, the battery back makes it a lot easier to do the kind of the crazier maneuvers. I don't even want to claim this is crazy. How does it turn like that? That is so strange. You wouldn't think it'd be able to turn so flat and yaw as though there were rudders. But there's not rudders on this thing. It's really fun to fly. It's less insane than the first one. And yet the first one was very fun and very easy to fly, even though it shouldn't be. I wish I had a Vario right now, just so I could screw with it.
So I didn't move the camera for all of those loops. That's how tight that loop was.
I wasn't even pulling all the way back on the
I
stick.
know, that's crazy.
But then you can also cruise around like this. And by the way, it's not dead calm, but it's pretty calm.
Yeah.
There's just the occasional 2 to 3 mile an hour, wind. Very, very relaxed. Easy to fly. Reminds me of flying the UMX, except bigger. I was trying to do a knife edge there, but knife edges don't work good on planes that don't have rudders, typically. There's got to be differential thrust. What do you think of filming it? Is it terrible?
It's only when you do that janky stuff right in front of me.
You don't want me to jank it right in front of you?
I don't.
Okay.
It'd be out a little ways. That'd be great.
Let's do inside loops. Just to show you.
That is crazy.
I know, isn't it? It's just the inside loops are even tighter.
Yeah.
The servos are terribly noisy. It's funny, you can hear the servos almost as much as the motors. Okay, I'm gonna go up here and try that with some altitude. Do you see what I was doing? That's how I got into the unrecoverable stall earlier. So I'm gonna try to do it with this backdrop that's bright, okay? Oh, that is so cool. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try doing it again. So up into a hammerhead and then full yaw. What the heck is going on here? This is so bizarre. It's just hilarious. Oh, it's so much fun. I got to do it at low level so I don't look like such an amateur like I am. All right, you want to see it at low level?
Okay.
I think that's only possible with differential thrust. So strange.
It's like a frisbee.
It is like a frisbee.
Spins in a circle.
Ooh, let's go up here where the sky is blue. Hello, blue sky. Hello. Oh, that is so cool. Camera crew, have you had your Dramamine for today?
I forgot. I didn't know I needed.
Oh, by the way, I'm 10 minutes into the flight time now, and I just want to show you guys. Let's go ahead and land so we can really discuss this for a quick second. Okay, we're out of safe. We're just in full acrobatic mode or whatever that means. Okay, so, oh yeah, differential thrust, faux show. You know how I can tell? Watch your toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when you're at zero throttle, there's braking, okay? So you're not gonna have any yaw authority at zero throttle, okay? So I don't know if there's a way to fix that. If we can set up reverse thrust, maybe, I'm not sure. Let's look at this. Oh, that's convenient. Horizon, we're still waiting for a percentage. In case you're wondering. That is so cool. We still have more power. Let's just keep going for a little bit longer. That's one little 850 milliamp hour pack. Oh, so cool. I would not recommend catching this with your hand because you're probably gonna catch a giant set of stitches because you're gonna get your hand in where you don't mean to have it. That is so cool. It's just so, okay, do you remember filming the other Ultrix? Were you concerned? Like, were you scared that I was gonna hit you the whole time?
I'm not usually concerned that you're gonna hit me.
Sorry, that was a little bit closer than I meant to get, but I still knew I wasn't gonna hit you.
Fine.
Okay.
I don't honestly remember.
I thought you missed it there.
No, sorry, I was thinking.
Yes, I know there's power lines there, people, don't worry. If I hit the power lines, hopefully we won't knock out the power grid. I just can't believe how tight you can keep your maneuvering and still keep from falling. And you're not just hammerheading. You can hammerhead too with the best of them. But the thing is, it's like, that's not well, the flight controller's absolutely involved, but that's just, you know, me. I'm not even really a 3D pilot here, guys. Oh, and then by the way, they were warning us about, you know, repeatedly hitting low voltage warning and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, that's lame. Just don't overdo it and you won't destroy your batteries. I mean, normally we don't fly on this side, but we can with this plane. Not a steerable nose gear, you may have noticed, because once you're on the ground, you're planted and you're going whatever direction that wheel is pointed. So, I mean, it's just weird. It's weird and awesome. It's almost exactly the same feel as the UMX, but it's actually more controllable. I feel like the UMX was super fun and super neat, but it was so small. So this one here is just, it's everything I wanted it to be, except bigger. Now, Carbon Z Ultrix. Ready, go, Horizon. Okay, I want this to be at least 2 meters, and I want the same motor that's in the Draco on each side. Then my camera crew will have to duck. All right, so let's check our power. Nope, still not dead. We're flying more. So this is the type of plane that just does everything. It really it just does it all.
Okay, so then you have to answer people's questions.
Okay.
Is it a first plane?
Is this a first plane? I suppose if you were in safe, which this has auto leveling and limited bank angles, but it's like, I don't know, it's just not really a first plane because it's hardly a plane. It's more of like It's like a quad, but it's not. It's an airplane. Does that make sense at all? Mm-hmm. It doesn't fly like an airplane. So it's kind of like, if you want to feel like you're flying an airplane, don't get this. This feels like you're flying a squirrel. It kind of looks like a squirrel with those little things that drop down in the back. It's just not the same as flying a plane, but it's still very fun. I also think that people are not going to like the fact that they're recommending the 850 milliamp hour battery. I feel like this thing could handle a lot more weight. And then, like, who really cares? If you're already flying airplanes, you've already got the stupid drone registry thing to deal with anyway. So you might as well just put your little sticker on there and then, stick a big old battery like a 6S. Just kidding, not a 6S. Just do your 3S and do like a 2200 and just get your 4.5 hour flight time. But I mean, look at that thing. It's just, I'm in safe right now and it's still super fun to fly. Even in safe, I got it to screw up. That's awesome. I want to try doing it again. I want to try defeating it. Yes. So even in safe, you can get it to do that. Here, let's show the people what I'm doing. I'm just trying to I'm trying to overwhelm the flight controller. There we go. And then it just snaps right out of it, folks. It's just amazing. I mean, I'm not even looking at it. Look at it. It's just coming back here. Look, return to home. One button. Oh, just kidding. It doesn't have that. The one button return to home that doesn't actually work on any of those planes. Here we go. Okay, so it does cut grass too, okay? If you guys are wanting to get out of, or if your wife is like, get out there and cut the grass, you can't fly the plane. Be like, I am cutting the grass. I don't really have that problem around here. You may have noticed.
You do kind of need to cut the grass though.
I do kind of need to cut. Well, I was cutting the grass.
Maybe
Didn't you
like
just see
a
that?
little more of it.
Oh, you want me to actually cut the grass, like with a zero turn and stuff?
I don't really care, actually.
It's just so weird that you can like do that at such a low level and then it just recovers like no problem. Ooh, it's giving me the critically low. It's just so weird that you can do the insane maneuvers and then you can come and land it at your toes without any trouble and without having like an insane level of skill. Because I would not fancy myself any sort of a 3D pilot by any stretch. Did you hear the warning? Mm-hmm. By the way, the 5 to 8 minutes, Horizon, what are you talking about? 5 to 8 minutes?
Maybe they might double that.
Maybe they meant
times 2.
Yeah. Because no, I'm at way more than that.
Well, we're at 15 on video.
Okay. You mean on just the flight?
Yes.
Okay.
And you took off, pretty quickly.
Yeah, there was a little teeny bit of talk time in there though.
Yeah.
I cannot end on that. I don't care if my battery is out. I am going to glide it back. You good?
Yep.
There we go. All right, so throttle hold's on. Let's take a look at the battery stuff. It's giving me the dangerously low warning. "13 minutes plus 5. That's almost 19 minutes.
It?
Huh? I cleared it. Well, yeah. I just cleared it to add the 5. So it was 13 something.
Because we're at 15 on video. On flight.
What? How is that possible?
Oh, maybe we paused.
We paused. Oh. Yeah, we did. So yeah,
that's crazy.
Our timer was at like 19 minutes. So here's the reality. I'm saying we had at least about 17 and a half to 18 minutes of flight time. You could set your timer to 10 minutes, 11, 12 minutes, no problem. No questions asked. And it's not like I was taking easy. I was spinning it up there like it was a Frisbee all the time. So very cool plane, very fun to fly. I mean, what more do you need in an awesome little plane other than being about 3 times bigger and scary to your camera crew, which would be awesome. Other than that, and some LEDs, which are gonna be an offering, just so you know. I don't have them yet, but when we get them, if we get them, we'll go ahead and do a quick clip for that too. But this thing is super fun. It's awesome. So if you guys haven't experienced the Ultrix and you have any interest in flying radio controlled airplanes, this thing is a super fun hybrid. If you're a drone pilot and you want to fly something that's got a flight controller, it's easy. You can almost stop like you can with a drone or a heli. This would be a great crossover vehicle. Now, that being said, drawbacks on this plane. It does not fly like an airplane, even though you can fly it like an airplane. It flies a lot more like an airplane than the XK450 or the 520, which are both VTOLs. VTOLs tend to fly like quads that are kind of like going forward. So it's not really like flying an airplane. Now, they do fly good, and they're very good for being Chinese knockoffs. But this one here flies more like an airplane than that. Now, I'm only talking about in safe mode. If you're in regular, fully functioning mode, which they call it like 3D mode, you can do anything. You can fly it like an airplane, but it's just so dang capable that it ends up ultimately flying more like a 3D plane or some sort of a weird like quad hybrid, but not a VTOL. A VTOL flies like a VTOL. I've never had a VTOL that flies like an airplane. And I've never had an airplane that flies like a VTOL. They are so different. This is more of a hybrid, I feel. It's also very capable. It's not overly powerful. It's certainly not underpowerful, but it has darn near unlimited vertical. I mean, I'm at 18 minutes past and I could take this thing off. Let's just do it. Look at that, guys. No problem. It gets up there. I'm at critically low, but I'm definitely in the air and I have no problems getting it back to home here. Okay? So just to show you what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, it does grass landings too, evidently. Here we go. Wheels up. That's one thing you do probably want to watch out for is I hit the prop on the concrete there. So you'll want to be a little bit careful not to drag your props. And that's the thing. It's Delta Ray style, complete absence of yaw authority on the ground. There's not a steerable nose gear, okay? So once you're on the ground, you're on the ground, unless you're giving it throttle. And if you give it throttle, you're gonna take back up or you're gonna roll. And if you roll, then you're gonna hit your prop. So you need to be careful about that. That was something I just demonstrated accidentally. I didn't mean to do that, but it was an accident. So let's take a look at the prop and see how much damage we caused. So we were talking about drawbacks, and I'm really drawing for something here. Look, it barely even chopped up the prop here. See that? It just heated it up a little bit. So we didn't even hardly lose anything. So guys, without further ado, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. This thing is awesome. It is super fun. It is super easy to fly. It's definitely, you know, maybe not a first plane, but you could do it as a first plane if you wanted to. But I just don't think it's gonna help teach you how to fly an airplane great. It's gonna help you get the basics down, but I think you'd be better with just like a simple quad like the Untitled. You know, something that's inexpensive, that's easy to fly indoors so you can fly when it's bad weather. But I think the Sport Cub SUMX is gonna train you to fly better than this if you're looking to fly fixed wing aircraft. I hope I've kind of beat that with a, you know, I've made that clear, right?
Yeah, when you want something fun and different, and you thought, oh, I only needed one plane to fly.
Look how big the control surfaces are. And yes, the landing gear worked really nice.
Yeah, they really did.
It's kind of a bummer that you don't have steerable nose gear, but it's also not really a big deal because by the time you throw in a steerable nose gear, you defeat the quality that you get from the differential thrust, and then you all of a sudden you need, you know, rudders and things like this. So I think it makes sense to not have it. A lot of people are gonna fly without the nose gear also, and that is gonna give you a little bit better on the 3D authority. Also, I feel like you could totally take this battery and you could pull it back even further because like it's already slipped all the way forward. You could fly that right there and you could do some insane 3D flying, okay? Because that's gonna basically hold the thing. It's probably gonna fly like insane. I wanna see what it does.
I have a battery
We have another battery?
in my pocket.
Should we just switch batteries?
We could.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, we're gonna switch batteries and come right back. Okay, so just so you guys can see, that battery is barely warm, okay? Just so you know. It's not like it was getting used hard, okay? So that's one thing I always wonder about when I'm getting into a new plane is like, is it gonna chew up batteries? And yes, we review planes that eat batteries, okay? F-18, 80 millimeter. It loves 4,000 milliamp hour 6S packs for lunch, okay? It thinks they're delicious. And believe me, when I'm flying it, they are delicious. But that being said, there's a lot of planes that chew through packs, okay? And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So I've got that way back. That's way further back than they recommend. So this could be kind of a crappy flight experience. So we're gonna try it at 5 minutes timer. We're in the full acrobatic mode, and we're just gonna go ahead and roll out there. Oh, that was crazy. It scared me. Did it scare you?
Only because you jumped.
I was like, oh crap, we're trapped. Why did I do that? Okay, so let's fly it like we mean it. So let's get, see, it's just super 3D-ish. That is so weird. It's basically like a VTOL now, okay? So now let's go into the safe mode, just see if it can even do it. See, it wants to fly at super high alpha, which is hilarious, actually. You see that part of the thing? Oh, that is so weird. If you just control, I'm in full safe here, guys. Look, it's up there somewhere. That is bizarre. So it's gonna start a self-induced oscillation here. Okay, now I'm gonna spin it. That is hilarious. Okay, so I can envision some people having problems with this if they do this. So I would not recommend trying to fly it this way necessarily, because it does get a little bit wonky because you pretty much have no control down. Like you can't force it down. So like that's me out of the throttle, and look what it does. It's hilarious. I'm just relaxed, guys. Barely even doing anything with my controls. Just using the elevator, kind of keep it pointed in the right direction. And look at the thing, it's sitting up there like it's rock solid. Well, that's interesting. It flies without a battery even. Okay, so we're gonna pause and go find it and come right back. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. We've got the Ultrix. You may have noticed in our video, not sure if you've seen it before or not, but we tried some flying with the unstrapped battery all the way at the bottom. That did not turn out well for us. I don't want to give away anything too good, but here we go, we're flying again. We wanted to give you guys a flight in the sun instead of just in the sunset. So throttle cuts off. We had that battery way back. Out of safe. And then in safe. This plane is so much fun to fly. And if you push the CG back, you can push the limits of insanity. But you want to probably have a little bit of Velcro in there, because this thing will do insane things. And this, you got to remember, this does have a regular like flight controller here. But if you'll notice, it's flying in about a 10-foot area here. Who does that at 4 feet off the ground? It's just insanity. Look at this. It's trying to correct upside down. Gotta love it. So this thing is just a bunch of fun. The Ultrix, the UMX was super fun too. If you're wanting an Ultrix and you don't want to spend this much money, just get the UMX. The batteries are 800 milliamp 1S packs. This is of course the 3S. 850 milliamp Gen 2. And yes, it takes rough landings just fine, as you can see from that maneuver by yours truly.
I thought that was a touch and go.
That was more of like a ram and go. I think normally there's sentences
more
attached to that. I wanted to catch it, but
I know, yeah, that's what you're trying
it
to
kind of
do.
walked away from me. That's what we're gonna do. The wind is kind of coming from our right to left. I'm just gonna see if I can walk it to me, but I don't wanna get cut. Yeah, that works all right. It's not really that hard to catch, but you just need to be careful that you grab from the bottom side, because anytime you can't get to the throttle cut when you're touching the plane, I mean, and just to be clear, the throttle cut could fail, but it's probably not gonna. That is just so cool. It is just so weird. Look at this. There's no rudders on there, and yet I feel you can yaw it. And yes, it's super porpoisey when you put the battery like that, but I think it's kind of awesome that way. Which is so funny, because as you progress as a pilot, tail-heavy planes fly once, right? This plane is extremely tail-heavy right now. Perfect landing!
Good job.
Totally planned upon, perfect landing. So if you do the super tail-heavy configuration like this, I would highly recommend just don't plan on getting it exactly where you want, because the controllability and ground effect is worse than, but I mean, that wasn't too bad. Okay, throttle holds on, throttle cuts on. Let's show you what it looks like with the battery up forward where it's supposed to be, because I just want you to see how big of a difference it makes. Oh, too bad it's not dark, or we could have seen that firework.
A little poof of smoke.
All you saw was the poof. Okay, battery's up front. And I want to show you something. It will come out. So if you think about it, stick it in at an angle and you can hit both sides.
Show the people when you get in there.
See this? You can stick it in at an angle, and then I found that you can get it to bite a little bit better, okay? So then it's like all the way up to this edge. It is kind of a weird cavity for the battery, but so was true for the other Ultrix. Okay, so I'm gonna show you another launching technique. Throttle cuts out, I'm out of safe, but I'll go, you don't have to be in safe for this. Just give it more throttle if you don't. See how it flattens out now when it's all nose heavy? Gosh, it's so easy to fly like this, but it flies so much more like a plane. But then you can still, you definitely cannot do as good 3D with it, and your trims are gonna be sort of very, very different. So just be prepared to spend a couple of seconds getting your trims adjusted. And that's 50% throttle there, just cruising along at a really comfortable pace. Testing the camera crew skills here.
That was a fail.
You missed it? How about this one? Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So the whole point is this plane does virtually everything you want it to, and then it does more. And it's super, super fun to do all of those things. So we'll do a safe launch. I want to show you a safe launch with no throttle. I have my throttle cut on, and this is kind of a different thing to do. A discus launch. Esteban, that one was for you. Okay, pause, we'll come right back. So my tray popped off the bottom, but that's it. That just clips back in, okay? That was kind of a joke for Esteban. He'll get it. We tried to discus launch a plane once. Didn't go very well. That's what's safe and full throttle. Limited bank angles, keep it from going up too much. Keep it from going down too much. Up, down, roll right, roll left, and then out. I actually really like flying this as a 3D spectacle as opposed to just flying it as a plane, but it sure looks cool as a plane anyway. So don't worry, I've already been talking to Horizon about a Carbon Z Ultrix. Don't laugh, camera crew. I seriously have.
I'm aware.
So we'll see if we get it, because this plane is just so much fun to fly. It reminds me of the Delta Ray, only better, more fun, and more insane. But it doesn't do cornholes worth a darn in this configuration. You have to have the battery back further to do a cornhole properly. Ooh, another explosion.
Is the Delta Ray still available?
I don't know if it is.
I feel like this is
It's so different.
better, though.
It's better, but like as a beginner,
Well,
it's like insane. The Delta Ray was like, it was pretty tame,
yeah.
but at the same time, it was tame in all the right ways, except for landing. Landing kind
Maybe
of sucked.
that's what I was remembering about the Delta Ray.
What, the landings?
It's been a long time.
I remember crashing my neighbors into the ground, breaking it into 4 pieces, and then helping him fix it. Hopefully you were paralyzed at the top of that loop. This flight controller is just so good. Inside loop. And breakout. Camera crew, you are so good.
You haven't seen the footage yet.
And guys, if you think I'm trying to show off with this plane, I'm really actually not. It's a pretty easy flying plane, to be honest. It makes you look good because it's just so simple, and yet it does everything it does so well. And it's just a small, simple package. It's very thin. It looks like a pizza box. Stick around for the unbox, build and radio setup. The build takes about 30 seconds.
I even put it together once.
That's right. She rammed it in.
I did.
What?
All by myself.
Really? That's not very nice. Leave me out. Now, I know some of you guys ask for slow flight, and I sometimes forget to give it. I feel like this plane, I've kind of provided that for you all. With the battery so far in the nose, that's about as slow as you can do without doing just like an intentional, you know, like something like this. But the forward flight, don't forget, you do have to keep a little bit of throttle for yaw control because there aren't fixed rudders, obviously. Oh, the birds, birds, birds. It's barn swallows. What are you doing? You see that barn swallow? He's going for me. You see him?
Yep.
That's so cool. Yes, it's a good old barn swallow fight. See who swallows better. Oh, jeez. Wait, early release. Sorry. Sorry, never mind.
Forgot about that.
We forgot. We promised it was an accident. We're gonna be good boys and girls from now on. No more barn jokes. See how I did that? Look, there's like 4 of them out here now. That's awesome. If you guys don't have the privilege of having swallows on your property, it's something you can look forward to later in life. If you ever catch a swallow in your entryway, it may be building a nest.
Out of mud.
Out of mud. It looks like a mud dauber nest. A mud dauber nest, well, a mud dauber is like a wasp. And they will make these poop-looking things on your trim. And look at the trim on our house, it's white. See it? It's white. And when there's a giant turd stuck to your white trim, and there's birds that keep feeding this giant turd-looking structure, it's rather off-putting.
What happened to the early release part?
Oh, we weren't supposed to talk about swallowing, I thought. Man, this thing is fun. I just honestly, I kind of want to just keep flying forever. For those of you who don't have a house in your flying club, just want to let you know the house does definitely, it does give you something for backdrop, because I want you to have size comparison, folks. Look at the shadow on the house, okay? If you have nothing in the backdrop, it's not very fun to look at a plane going through blue sky, unless it's real and it's armed with missiles and bombs and stuff, and then it's okay.
Then it's fun?
Then it's fun. Then blue sky is okay. I'm gonna just jank it straight up. It's almost unlimited vertical right now. Is that like almost not ripping your battery out? Oh, by the way, there's been a lot of talk on our channel lately about, well, that was a nice touch and go.
A little aggressive today.
There's been a lot of talk on our channel of late regarding prop mount, or not prop mounts, but motor mounts. And I didn't even get to blow mine up for extra excitement. So in case you're wondering, yes, I checked, and yes, they were tight. And if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments below. We'll make sure that you get your gold star for the day. Does it feel like we've been flying forever?
It has.
Like it's literally been forever?
Yeah.
Do I need to check the timer?
I'm like older than I was when we started this
Well,
significantly.
10 minutes and 13 seconds. Are you kidding me?
What did
That's
we
on top
fly?
of 5. This can't have been 15 minutes and 13 seconds.
I
Are you
can.
kidding me?
It has.
We've been flying for 13 minutes?
Like longer than, I mean.
Or 15 minutes?
Yes.
And I only rammed it into the ground twice? Man, I must.
I was thinking that was a pretty good.
You can just blame the mic for that one.
It's much easier to see on this side, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Because of the sun.
Yeah.
Let's try kind of like a drawn out landing here just for coolness effect. No yaw authority in landing is annoying, guys. You see how it's favoring to the left slightly? Okay, that's one thing you're gonna find out when you land this thing. If you don't have throttle, you can't yaw the plane. If you can't, or if you do yaw the plane, you're gonna start flying again. So you'll notice it's at the end of the runway. That's what happens when you yaw the plane. You're like, dang it, now it's taken off again. I'll have to fly another round. So get your throttle about 10, maybe 5%. Let it come down to the ground, then you can still yaw, but you see how it's out? So you have to bank and yank it down to the ground. That's part of the reason why when you see me land this thing, it's always kind of like wonky. That's because you give up your yaw authority. There is no yaw authority because it's differential thrust. That's a feature from back in the Delta Ray days. So let's watch when the throttle kicks in. Look at the controller. That's 12, 10, 9, 8, 5. 6 to 7% when it starts. So when you're flying this plane, a couple things to keep in mind. One, it's awesome. Two, you might not want to do touch and goes because you'll run the risk of breaking your prop. 3, I love it. 4, you will too. 5, buy it from the links in the description below. 6, if you haven't already seen the sunset flights, we're going to show you those now, and then you can learn whatever lessons you need to learn from that. And I think, well, I don't know. Are we going to lead off with this, or are we going to lead off with the true Maidens? Either way, you've either seen them or you're going to be seeing them right away. But in the meantime, while we're between clips 1 and 2, click the link in the description below. Buy this beautiful plane for yourself. It's awesome. It's super fun. Go ahead and make sure to get the battery. The battery is a 3S, 850 milliamp Gen 2 pack. And yes, we did just fly that for about 18 minutes. That is not a stretch. It's totally within the realm of possibility. I'm not suggesting you do that all the time because you'll probably wear out the battery. But touch this. It's not cold, but it's not anything crazy. It's not like a jet where it's all puffed and destroyed. Nope. This plane is really fun, guys. Just like the UMX Ultrix. This is the 600 millimeter, right? 800 millimeter. So I love it. It's super fun. If you haven't already bought one, you might want to think about buying one. Also, we want to let you know about our official bagging site. It has begun, the official bagging site. We got 200,000 subscribers, and we didn't ever ask for money on Patreon, but we've had a lot of people that really truly want to support us in that way. And so very reluctantly, we finally gave into the peer pressure, and we've decided to start a Patreon account. We aren't begging for money. We just want to give you guys an outlet. If you want to support us in that way, great. If not, we totally understand. We prefer you just buy the things that we feature on the channel because we feel like it's a lot more equitable for you as a consumer to buy this thing and then let these guys give us a little kickback here and there. Okay? But that being said, I know some of you guys don't maybe want to buy a new Draco today, even though you should, from the link in the description below. But if you don't buy a $650 or $700 or $800 order and you want to just like give us $5 pat on the back, we have that option for you now. We're also going to try to start just a PayPal account if you want to just do one-time gifts. I think Patreon does monthly stuff. So the regular income would help the channel because right now we're running into this very small problem of not having enough hours in the day to keep up. And I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. We love doing this, but it is slightly time consuming. You may have noticed. Stop! So we want to keep you guys around. We want to keep you happy. We want to improve the quality of the channel. And all of those things take time, even if you only see part of it. So the reason we're introducing this now is because you may be in that extreme minority of people who want to support us financially, but you won't want to buy a plane. So maybe you're overseas and you can't order because there's nobody that ships to you. If so, check the second link in the description below. It goes from Horizon Hobby, then Tower. You can go to the Tower website. They ship internationally. You can pretty much buy anywhere in the world if you want. So buy from that link instead. All the same features, all the same items are still there as well. And then I feel like you guys are getting a better value for your money. But if you want to support us, we've made that available. And it's starting, what, like an hour ago? Yeah. So you guys are probably seeing this video, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 days after we started. So you may see some other videos where we make the announcement. It's not going to ever really be the focus of our channel, but we just want to make sure you know it's there. Anyway, guys, the NX8 has been working great. I updated the firmware today to 3.5.04, something like that. So if you haven't tried it, all you have to do is get onto your Wi-Fi, connect, then click login, search for updates, and then it goes. It's very simple. It worked for me. Make sure you do a backup just in case something crazy happens. I don't think it will. I don't know why it would. Make sure your internet connection's stable, and then you can avoid the possibility of problems because of an internet connection that lapses on you. Of course, we're in the internet free zone here, also known as we have Starlink. Thank you, Elon Musk. We will pay our tribute later. Don't you worry, Elon. We've got the incense waiting. But beyond that, very good plane, very fun, love it. The UMX, I would say that is atypical for a UMX to be almost exactly the same flight performance. It is weird how close they are. I mean, weird. It feels like you're flying the exact same thing, but this is for old man eyes and that's for young man eyes because it's so much smaller. And also they both come with an optional light kit that you can order. It is separate. So when you're getting this, all you have to do is follow the link to this plane and then scroll down a little bit. There's some features and like that's where you can find the manual and things like that. That's the other thing I wanted to mention in this video. I have to repeat this periodically so you guys know, but they're like, say you want to get a tire or wheel or you break the wing or you need to get some replacement props, things like this. All you have to do is click on the link to the plane, follow down below, and it'll say things like support, spare parts, replacement parts. You can click there and you can find the replacement parts if it's a Horizon Hobby product. Now, if you're following through the Tower Hobby links, it's a little bit different, a little bit more involved. You have to search for the plane and then you'll be able to find it through that link. Horizon's website's laid out a lot better, I think, than Tower's, but Tower's does the international shipping. So if in doubt, you can use the Tower website to actually order, follow our links for that, and you'll help give us credit, but you can actually find the part numbers if you want something weird. Something that's totally off the wall, then put the part number into the Tower site and you'll actually find it there. Just follow the link and you'll give us credit when you do that. So any other thoughts, camera crew?
It's really cool.
I think it's awesome.
It's a fun little thing.
And it's very durable. Yeah. It holds up. It's got a little bit of flex to it. These things just pop out. Yep. So there's nothing to get damaged there. Like I said, assembly time is maybe like in the 1 minute, had 30 seconds to 1 minute.
And that's for us. Out and opening the box and then like closing it and putting it away.
Yeah, right. Like the tape that holds the two things down probably takes longer than building it. So I would say it's definitely a victory. If you're not into the non-scale flying arena, I challenge you to get the UMX. It's a little bit cheaper, very incrementally cheaper. These batteries are not super cheap. So if you're wanting to save money, but you're like, I really want to try the flight experience, the UMX is another good alternative. Or if you want to try that first while you wait for these to come into stock, because as you know, this is an early release, you can pre-order now, or maybe you're watching this video in like 2025 and you want to buy one and they're discontinued now. I apologize if that's the case. We'll make sure to update the links if they are. And if you guys ever do find a link that's broken, let us know. We'll try to fix it immediately as soon as we see your comment. Guys, thanks for watching. We wouldn't have the channel without you, and we certainly wouldn't be working this hard if you didn't keep coming back. So please keep doing that. Support us how you can or however you feel is right, and we will keep doing the content probably either way because we just love doing it. And my camera crew loves filming for you.
So much.
Yes, so much. It's huge. Come back for more. YouTube is Brian Phillips. What is this? This is something new and exciting. I can't wait to share it with you. It is a lot like what it was before. Could it be sausage or pepperoni? I don't know.
Oh.
Ooh, look at that.
It's blue.
That is so cool. All right. What is this? This isn't foam. Wow. That's so weird. It's cardboard. Okay. Why do I care about the packaging?
I don't know.
When this thing is in here. Look how nice and clean that is.
Wow.
This is so light. Feel it. You got to hold this. All right, time for the scale. I'm not messing around this time. I'm just whipping it out right now. Okay. Turning on our crappy scale here.
Whatever.
Oh, there's landing gear? Look at this. We got a wheel. They get just one.
Oh, they're in here. Look.
What? Oh, there's wheels on the tail. Nice. Okay, so this one goes here. I'm not sure which way. I don't believe in reading directions on planes like this. I'm assuming it probably goes like that. That is so weird. Okay, if you guys haven't already seen the Ultrix, UMX. This plane is just the weirdest, most cool, fun thing ever that's also insane. And this is a brand new release, and it is 600 millimeters. Look, they're using a long throw servo to control this gigantic surface. And look, ball joints, that thing has 2 balls. That is so strange.
Wow.
Well, anyway, so what we're gonna do is, and by the way, if it were any question, that is a prop that is labeled L and a prop that is labeled R, and they're brushless motors, which is awesome. There's definitely a flight controller on here. How does this work? Oh wow, look at that. That's gonna be so nice if you have to replace something because it's so easy to get to it. Everything looks fairly serviceable. There's a screw hole here. Wires go here. Looks like this thing is capable of receiving some LED strips probably. That's pretty awesome. There's your flight controller, obviously. Dual electronic speed controls, wheels on the back. There's some tails. Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay.
You were gonna weigh it.
I was gonna weigh it, but I gotta get all the stuff on it first.
Okay, fine.
So this is one of these unbox / build things. I'm gonna leave that foam there. Normally I would say foam to protect the foam from the foam, but it's not foam. It is literally a pizza box.
It is.
All right, let's move this off the table. We'll put that there. UMX boxes, if you didn't already know, are a really good way to store and transport your UMX planes, which, you know, kind of goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Not sure if these are supposed to be glued. You would have to read directions to know for certain. I am not going to be doing that until later. I'm gonna opt to put them this way so it looks like the other one, like this. I suppose technically you could put them the other way. Let's see if they fit. They actually do fit if you want them to be the weird way. That's not the way they're supposed to be, but if you want that, you can do it. They'll go in ambidextrously. Is that a word?
Well, not with that many S's in it.
Ambidextrously.
Yes.
Okay, good. I like that because if you get in an accident, they're just gonna pop out. Okay, look how thin it is. It's just like so strange. But yet it is actually very, very close to this. I mean, it's like the exact same lines. Ooh, the tails look different. See? That one's got swoops on the top. So it is actually different. Okay, so I wanna weigh this thing. The scale's turning on. We're zeroed. Okay, now obviously I'm gonna have to hang this on the edge.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's gonna like not fit. Okay, so let's see if we can get that on there. That worked really good.
Is it touching?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What?
I can't read it.
It's only 188 grams. Hold on, hold on. Let's do this. Let's be smart fellers.
What?
Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so we're gonna zero this, and then we're gonna put this on top. Okay, check this out. Now we can see the scale. 185 grams? That is so crazy.
Wow.
Okay, so obviously we're gonna have to check the weight again in a few minutes. So I'm gonna turn this off and we're gonna come right back to it because we have to get a battery in there. Because all up weight, you wanna keep it below 250 grams if you wanna keep away from having to do drone registry stuff. For us, we pretty much do the drone registry stuff all the time. So it's really not a huge issue. But if you guys are concerned about it, both of these planes would be well below the threshold. So 250 grams goes quick though. All right, so just looking at the manual, it does come with a manual. It's not folded. Thank you, Horizon, for not folding that.
Actually, it's technically folded in half.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so here's your setup stuff. Computerized transmitter setup. Now, this is one of the times where you have to actually set this stuff up right because of the flight controller being involved. So we're gonna do that. What type of battery do we need?
Go back a page, probably.
All right, specifications.
Battery.
800 milliamps. 850 milliamp hours with an IC2, okay? If you guys don't know already, there is an adapter. It should be available, and the adapter looks like this. You get an IC3, and it goes to the IC2. And then that allows you to plug this into your smart charger and you can charge it. Now, if you don't have that and you don't want to buy one, which I understand there are ways to do it, but you pretty much have to just get motor lead connectors and then make your own. It's not like the end of the world. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say just buy a couple of these. These batteries are around for UMX planes. In the future, you're going to want them. Just buy one now. I know things that you don't know yet. You're going to want it. So this is an 850 milliamp hour pack with Velcro attached. I'm just going to show you how heavy this is. That is 70 grams. Whoo, it's pretty close. Yeah. Pretty close. Let's see if we can get this thing all up for less than 250. You can stay where you are.
Okay.
All right, we're going to zero off the jar. Zero the jar. Okay, put on the plane. Put on the battery. Oh, 255. We have to lose some weight. I wonder if we have to take the landing gear off. I don't know. 255. Maybe I need to calibrate the scale appropriately.
Maybe so.
So you see this? That's the lid. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. Look at this.
Wow.
That thing,
literally
look how
nothing
huge.
In there.
Look how huge the battery is. It's dinky. There's like a giant spot in there. You could put a 2200. You probably put a 2200 in here. I bet you could put a 3000 or 4000. Oh, no, not quite. It's not quite wide enough. Okay, 2200. Here's 2200 4S 100 seat pack. That's a real common one. Yeah, yep, that goes. That would put you over your weight reading of 250 grams because the battery weighs more than 250 grams.
Yep. So
let's see what the CG is and get that marked too. Because obviously we want this thing to be under the 250 gram threshold. I'm gonna weigh both of my batteries and see if there's one that's heavier than the other. That one's 71, this one's 72. So this one's technically lighter by 1 gram. So we'll start with this one. Okay, where's the CG supposed to be?
CG is, well, there's two markings. 290 millimeters back from the nose. And then it says for sport flying, install the battery in the front of the battery compartment. For extreme 3D locations, install the battery so the back edge is aligned with the front edge of the battery hatch opening. Did you get all that?
What?
You come look at the picture.
Yeah.
290.
What does that mean?
Is the 290 millimeters is the.
If they're telling us where to put stuff, maybe I'm just gonna mark it that way because I'd rather probably just know where to put it. Mm-hmm. So they're saying where now?
So sport flying, install the battery in the front of the battery compartment. So they're showing it like way up, like that.
Oh, there's like a holder, like that?
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just gonna write 850 milliamp hour. 850. What exactly is sport flying?
Doesn't say.
And then what's the other style?
Extreme 3D.
Extreme 3D fly.
And then that one says install the battery so the back edge of the battery is aligned with the edge of the hatch opening.
So
the
like
back edge.
That?
Yes.
Okay, so you got to put it vertical then. Except it doesn't really hold it very good. So, all right, let's try that. That must be what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So basically, you can stick it wherever it'll work. Just stick it in whatever direction you want.
So the CG is not as critical.
I'm kind of guessing it's not.
Depending on how you want to fly.
So I would say, yeah, let's do that because well, we got to set up the radio.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, I think we're going to just move this stuff out of the way for now. And we're just going to jump right into the radio setup. We aren't normally at radio setup at this stage of the video. It's usually like 2 or 3 more hours of talking and high exciting things. All right, so we have the NX8 here. We're going to turn it on. I'm going to take a seat. All right, what's the first step? Arming the C. Okay, yeah. All right. This should be pretty simple stuff. Ooh, look at that. Whoa, they show like all the spare parts. That's pretty cool. All right, so this is weird. Okay, give me a second here. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go to new model, create. It's an acro. Start all transmitter programming with a blank acro model, do a model reset, then rename the model. Okay, so you don't need to do a model reset if it's a brand new model. If you're renaming or reusing a model that's already been created, then you would do a model reset. You do that right here. Model type, and that will reset. Now model name, so this is model number 41, and we're gonna click and call it the Ultrix 600. So click, and then you can scroll over to U, and then you can click again, and then do your lowercase l, and so on and so forth. We'll come back when we're done. Okay, so I've got the model name done, Ultrix 600 millimeter. Aircraft type, doesn't say, does it? So I guess we just leave it normal, which this is normal. I just want to change the picture from that. It looks like the Delta Ray kind of, so I think we might have a plane. Oh, that's pretty close.
Might be as good as it gets.
I like changing the image just because I can. Nope. I think the early one was about right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say probably something like that's good enough. All right, so now we can walk out. All right, what do we have here? Transmitter setup as rebind the transmitter. Okay, the Ultrix does not need Elevon mixing. The Elevon mixing is handled in the receiver. That's what I was checking for.
Okay.
So the dual rates and Expo are set up. Okay, so control for optional lights. The optional LEDs are controlled from channel 6. In the channel input menu, set channel 6 to momentary switch I, which is up here, the bind button. If the servo setup menu, in the servo setup menu, reverse channel 6, and the LEDs will change to the next light pattern each time 6 is cycled. Okay, otherwise they would just keep changing until you pressed it and they would hold still. So that's why you have to switch it. All right, so looks like mode switch is channel 5 to switch B. Oh, that's kind of nice. Servo setup, normal channels 1 through 5, or reverse channel 6. Okay, that's the light one that they were talking about here. Travel set to 100. Okay, switch of your choice. We recommend switch B. Didn't we just do switch B? Okay, so normally I would set my dual rates in Expo over to switch F, but I'm gonna make a special accommodation for this plane because of the nature of the plane. Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna click, go down to dual rates in Expo, and we're gonna scroll them in, attach them to switch B. Okay, so that's like safe for most of you, or flaps in my case. Most people use flaps up here, I use flaps here, okay? So position 0 is gonna be 100% for rates. Wait, hold on, yeah. Then position with 0 Expo, really? Okay, so position 1 is gonna be 70% rates, and believe me, you guys wanna set this up per the manual because it is weird otherwise. I learned this on the UMX. The UMX, I try to just set it up like I normally do, totally screwed it up. So, I mean, I didn't crash or anything, it was just insane. You'll wanna set it up this way because that's the way the flight controller knows what to do. Okay, so then position number 2, which is all the way back, we want 100% and then 40% Expo. Okay, and then timer is 5 to 8 minutes, assign switch. Okay, throttle cut. So we're gonna do throttle cut the way they suggest, even though it's annoying to have it at minus 130 in my opinion. It's fine, it's not really that big a deal. I'm just gonna set it there and then not worry about it. Okay, so throttle hold is, throttle cut is on, it's at minus 130. Then when you shut that off, it goes to minus 97 in my case. Okay, so we're fine there. Then timer, they're suggesting 5 to 8 minutes. So I'm just gonna say 5 minutes and then totally disregard it.
Right.
This has a smart ESC, I believe. Well, I don't know. It's just got the IC2 connector. So we have a 1 out turned on. Okay, with both channel 5 and rates assigned to the same switch, there are 3 flight modes. Position 0, okay, so Do we have to make the assignment for safe? No, safe is part of the assignment on channel 5. So when I scroll, okay, so when you scroll over to monitor mode, when you move this switch, it's already set to channel 5? No, it's not. So we have to make an assignment, don't we?
Assign channel 5 to switch B.
Where do they say that?
On mode
Oh,
switch,
yep,
the
there it
second.
is. Okay, so what we need to do is go down to system setup, disconnect RF, light shuts off, then we can go down to channel assign, and then instead of this being channel A, I'm gonna change it to channel B. Well, actually that can still be channel A here. And then if you go to the next, you see this? You can also do it that way, but I usually like to do it from this page just because it's one step closer. And then auxiliary 2, I'm gonna actually assign that back to A just so that I don't have a conflict, okay? They don't tell you to do that, but it's kind of like, okay, maybe you kind of need to do that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go to monitor now. See, now it's just channel A, and there you go, okay? Then we have our rudder, we have our elevator, we have our ailerons, which is all mixed on the flight controller, okay? You'll note that there aren't rudders, but I think this one has differential thrust. I'm not sure on that, so we're gonna find out now.
It doesn't say anything about gluing those in the directions either.
Okay.
It says press them in.
Yep, press them in, good. So it's just a pressure fit. All right, cool. So now we just need to bind. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to go into bind menu, which is a little bit different. I'm gonna leave this on. Okay, put the receiver. Okay, so it's disabled. I'm highlighting this. This tends to have kind of a very short life cycle. So just get it plugged in and get on with it. Watch your fingers and stuff as you plug this in. Leave it sit still. I'm gonna have my hand here to hold it. I don't know if it bound. Did it bind?
I don't think it did.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm gonna go into bind again. It might work because it's not bound to anything. Okay, so I have never had great success with that menu because it times out too quick, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug this and we'll try again. It's already in the correct bind mode already. I can tell from the flashing light, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave this so it's off. Turn this on by plugging in the battery, leave it sit still, press and hold the bind button while powering on. Binding. Okay, so that's armed. It's auto configuring the forward programming and telemetry. Okay, elevator, rudder, roll left, roll right. Okay, more throws, more throws. Okay, so we should be good to go. So throttle hold is on and working, tested. And then, okay, so that's working, throttle cut's on. There is braking on both of the motors, which is pretty sweet. So without further ado, we're gonna go out and fly this right now. So if you guys are just watching this, you saw the setup at the end. We usually don't do that with short videos, but we're gonna basically show the flight right up front like we normally do. If you're wanting to buy this, help support the channel, you can pre-order right away following the links, or you can order if this has been out for a while and you're watching the video a little bit later. This plane is super fun. If it's anything like the UMX, it's gonna be great. But just keep an eye on your weight if you're gonna do it without any credentials for FAA drone registry. You have to be sub 250 grams, which means you may have to actually do belly landings with your main landing gear out. Because just, let's go ahead and show you this. It's supposed to be sub 250, so I don't know if maybe my batteries have the Velcro on there, so it's added a little bit of weight. Let's zero this off. Okay. Yeah, so we're, you know, if there's an FAA inspector watching, you know, take the Velcro off your battery pack and you'll be good.
It is kitchen scale too.
It is a kitchen scale. So we're gonna go outside. We're gonna fly this right now. We hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, we have so much coming. This is just one of the very few early releases that we're gonna be doing, and one of the very many early releases we'll be doing in the near future. So please stay tuned. Obviously, we're gonna do oldie but goodies, but we're gonna do all the new stuff. And we really want you guys to see it first here on Brian Phillips RC. We're gonna show you what we really think of them and if they're really good or if they're really garbage. So come back for more.